So you're ready to plot out your story and you want to know what model is best. Since we covered the hero's journey in the last lesson, now we're going to explore two of the most popular structure models out there, Dan Harmon's story circle and Save the Cat's beat sheet. And by the end of this lesson, you'll understand what they are, how they're useful in different ways, and how to pick which one is best for your story. This video is a lesson from a full free mega course on our website. If you're ready to supercharge your storytelling, click the link in the description and start your journey today. This video is also part of a series, so if you haven't watched the previous videos, there are links down below. We're going to start with Dan Harmon's story circle. If you're familiar with Harmon, either from Community or Rick and Morty, you may know that way back in 2011, he wrote a blog post about his structure model called the story circle. If you visualize your story as a circle and divide it into quarters, then number each point and segment, you have Harmon's model. It includes 8 steps and is a simplification of the hero's journey. Your story will move clockwise around the circle, starting at the top, and will follow your character needing something, going out to get it, paying a price for it, and returning. If you want to get into the nitty-gritty, you can check out the original blog posts. But more importantly, you should first ask the question of why you would use this model. Because of its simplicity, this model is not as useful for feature-length screenplays or full-length novels. However, if you're a TV writer like Harmon, you'll find this stripped-down structure useful to squeeze into your limited minutes. In other words, this simple structure works best in short stories. The best way to imagine it is as a simplified version of the hero's journey, and it's a great primer if you want to dive into that subject. The other model we're going to cover is Save the Cat's beat sheet. This beat sheet was created by Blake Snyder, who wrote 1994's Blank Check. If you visualize your story as a line with 3 sections and then add some moments and phases, you have Snyder's model. It includes 15 steps and is an expansion of 3-act structure. Your story will move from left to right and move through each of the 3 sections. Snyder calls these Act 1 through 3, but also labels them as thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. There are moments throughout that include the catalyst, midpoint, and all is lost, and phases like fun and games and the finale. If you want to dive deeper, you can buy the book Save the Cat and learn all about it. But again, let's cover why you would use this model. Unlike Harmon's story circle, the beat sheet is designed to write feature-length movies. It was later adapted by Jessica Brody to help novelists, and the important thing to emphasize here is that the beat sheet is for full-length stories. It works best in the 90-minute format or the 75,000-word novel. And even though it is an incredible model, it misses a few of the essential beats. One huge difference between these two models is their shape. The story circle is circular, while the beat sheet is linear. This is actually really important to understand. Circular models, like the hero's journey and the story circle, emphasize the middle of the story, and are usually about retrieving something and escaping. Often, the protag will achieve their goal in the middle and be given another task, or else must escape. Alternatively, linear stories, like 3-act structure and the beat sheet, emphasize the end of the story, where the protag might achieve a large step towards their goal in the middle, but doesn't actually complete their goal until the end. Circular models are based on shorter form stories like myths, fairy tales, and television, while linear models are based on Hollywood movies. If you have any other examples of story structure models, comment them down below so we can check them out. We should mention here that there are a ton of structure models out there. And unfortunately, many of them just take an existing model, change a few words, and call it new. This sucks the most for you as a writer, because there are now dozens of terms to talk about the same moments, missing pieces in each model, and at the end of the day, you need a tool with all of the pieces that is easy to talk about. Thankfully, we've created a model called Universal Story Language, and it's unique in 2 ways. First, it includes all of the pieces from all of these models in a visual and easy to understand format, so you don't have to worry about missing any key moments in your story. And second, it is the first structure model that was built to translate between all the terms people use to talk about stories, which is super important for communicating your ideas with other writers. And luckily, the next course is a masterclass on Universal Story Language. By the end, you will have an incredible grasp on the ultimate story structure model, and you'll be able to use this powerful tool to supercharge your storytelling. That covers our lesson on Dan Harmon's story circle and Save the Cat's beat sheet. You should now be familiar with these 2 popular models and understand the difference between circular and linear storytelling. And that brings us to the end of this mini course. Now that you understand the essentials of structure, including circular models like the hero's journey and linear models like 3-act structure, we're ready to jump into the next course where we dive into the ultimate structure tool, universal story language.